What's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashi Nation's S.H.Figuarts Piccolo. Now, if you guys don't know, Piccolo was actually the very first figure that was released from the S.H.Figuarts line all the way back in the older days, so this figure has been highly anticipated just because of the fact that we've been needing it in the 2.0 Piccolo for a very, very long time. So it is without question that I am really excited to go and get this figure review out for you guys. So let's take a look at the box, shall we? So here we got Piccolo right there. He has a little bit of a different green right there on the actual box than he does with the actual figure, which, I mean, that's a little bit weird. You can complain about that if you'd like. Here's the side of the box, you know, here's the back of the box. But honestly, we're all here for the figure. There's the side, and then there's the bottom, and then there's the top. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box, shall we? Alright, guys, so here we got Piccolo opened up and out of its packaging, and one thing I'm going to say right off the bat when it comes to this figure, when compared to all the other Piccolos, dude, this is an incredible improvement over the 1.0. I mean, really, when it comes to a 2.0 Piccolo and comparing it to the 1.0, just considering the fact that Figuarts honestly just improves a lot as time goes on, it was expected that this figure was going to be way better than the 1.0 to begin with, as Piccolo was the very first figure from Figuarts, so it's going to definitely have a lot of differences in the time and era that the figures were made in. So, but yeah, other than that, there is actually a couple of issues which I'm going to go into in the review, but if you guys are Piccolo fans, you absolutely have to pick this figure up. So, taking a look at the face right over here, I don't know why it's suddenly not coming up on camera. Maybe I have to turn on the light over, over here, just to make it a little bit easier. There we go. There we go. It's not as prevalent on this face, but when you have this thing in hand, the problem is that I've seen a lot of people really complain about is the lips on this figure. And honestly, I gotta agree with them when it comes to that. Piccolo's lips. Okay, you know what? Maybe not with necessarily with the with this specific one, because he comes with two stern faces, which is the other one where he's not wearing the turban, which we'll get into that fairly soon. But the other face that he comes with, this face right here with the turban is fine. But the other stern face where he has the antennas out, that one has some issues, which, yeah, again, we will get into. But one of the things I was particularly excited for when it came to getting this Piccolo figure is actually seeing how it scales. So, here, we'll put this off to the side right over here real quick. And then over here, we have the 1.0 Piccolo with the custom cape I got from Daredevil 19, which I will definitely try putting on the this new Piccolo right over here afterwards. And, you know, when I first saw this, I was like wondering why on earth, like, they didn't change up too much of Piccolo's scaling, but it went up like a little bit, but I don't know, I felt like this Piccolo was initially made off the 1.0 body mold, and it wasn't going to be tall enough it was going to be like too short when compared to Goku. But then I actually got the Goku figure out, and when you have that next to Piccolo, it actually works. So having Goku right over here, I think the scaling for Piccolo, they upped it up just a little bit, but it was enough for it to actually be accurate to how tall Piccolo actually is in the series. Piccolo is supposed to like be a whole head taller than Goku, and that's exactly what we see over here when it comes to this Piccolo. So that's one of the things I'm actually really happy about when it comes to this. You know, the scaling on this Piccolo, even though it's not as tall as I thought it was going to be, but like, I don't know, they made the Goku figure actually a little bit shorter. So just making this just like a little bit taller actually just made the scaling perfect. So I'm really happy with the way that they did that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about with this Piccolo is that the original 1.0, I know it doesn't have that cape on right now. It's somewhere in my storages and stuff. But the original 1.0 Piccolo cape was just like a single sculpted cape. Didn't have really any articulation at all, and for the most part, that was okay. This Piccolo right here has that same cape mechanics that we've seen on Boo. And if you guys know how that cape is on that original Majin Buu figure, it really to me wasn't that good. I really just, when it comes to this, it's not too bad to where it's just like I'm going to be really posing Piccolo around. Most of the time his cape is going to be left like this, so I guess like the option is nice to have there. But when it comes to capes, like wired cloth capes is always the way to go for the Piccolo. But even so, like when it comes to this one, like I might even end up using this cape even more, because the thing is about this cape that I really do like on this is that there's actually a really nice amount of like gray shading over the white paint. Now you can actually see this a little bit more prevalently on the actual front right there, and there's even a little bit of shading that they added there on his turban, which makes it so that it's not completely white, and it's like, and it like doesn't look as plain. It looks dirty because he's been out there. It's, you know, kind of like how clothes would look, and I really like that they, you know, added that onto this Piccolo figure. So the way that this cape mechanic thing actually works here is that the cape is actually, unlike the 1.0 Piccolo, it actually comes in two parts. So you actually take this part of the cape off, and you can actually see like a peg hole that's in there, and then you take the head off right here, and then you take that off. But you take that off, and then that's exactly how the cape works. And then if you wanted to fill in the thing right here on the back, you actually like I just dropped it. You actually just get this piece, which you just connect inwards right in there. And I'm not going to push it in all the way, but you get the general idea of how it works. I'm just going to put this thing back on just for like a second. Just get this right back in there. I know that it might be like a little bit of a waste of time just to go over there, but I wanted to go over one more thing with the turban and the face before getting into that. But I guess, you know, actually, no, hold on. Let me keep the cape off. I just shaved my mind. What I'll do right here for this Piccolo, I will talk about the crossed arms. Now, this thing comes posed with the crossed arms, and usually when it comes to, out of the box, it comes with the crossed arms, and you have to take the actual, like, posable arms and connect it onto the Piccolo. And, you know, when it comes to, god damn, I cannot get this, like, the crossed arms off. And when it comes to the Figuarts, a lot of the times in the past when they've applied crossed arms on a Figuarts figure, like, most of the times what would end up happening is that, that feature would be cool and all, but the arm itself would be really, really tight on this figure. And, sorry, not tight, it would be really loose. It would be a really loose fit because of the fact that you switch the arms around. But in this case, with Piccolo, after you put the arm on, this arm swivel stays on really tightly and securely. Like, there is no more loose fit on this thing at all. You have to... Yeah, you can see right there, the thing is like has a little bit of a like fighting back, and like it's a really surprisingly tight arm right there for the Piccolo. I'm really impressed that they actually managed to figure out a way to fix that. This was the most prevalent issue with Jiren, and when it came to Jiren, I got scared of like going and giving him the crossed arms type thing. But right over here on Piccolo, I am not like scared of doing that at all. Like, this thing comes out really, really good for the way that it should on this Piccolo. Like with the arms, I'm really just happy with the arms. They did a very good job with that. So while we're on the other thing with the accessories, let's go ahead and take off the head. Now, this is something I really like because this is gonna make for like a lot of cool like things for stop motion and posability. Is that with a little bit of fighting, you can get the turban thing off, but you know, sometimes you're gonna need fingernails or something to do that. And come on, there's like a tab that's like right under there. You have to pull this thing off, and this is one of the things that's really hard. Okay, there you go. Just gotta wiggle it off like that, and then you can see that thing comes off. And you actually do what you actually do with this case, and is you actually take this head, because it's the only other head that comes with Piccolo where it has the turban option. You just put that right in there, and then you just get that right on the figure. Now, I guess one other thing I like that is noticeable is that when it comes between, at least on my copy, when it comes between the screaming face and the stern face, the screaming face seems to have a tighter fit on the actual ball peg than the actual stern face does. Like, you can literally see, like, when this head is on, the head is like a little bit looser. It's like you just like a little bit of movement. It'll move like that. But with this thing, with how tight it is, it's like it's not. Okay, it's not. I'm not really doing a very good job of showing it, but I promise you, like, this is a much tighter fit on here than the regular stern face. But yeah, I really like that they made this a thing, making it so you can change them out like that and stuff. It's a really, really good way method of engineering on the 2.0 Piccolo. I really, really like that. Another comparison I would like to make over here is that obviously when it comes to between the 1.0 Piccolo and this new one over here is that the color scheme is going to be a little bit different. The original 1.0 Piccolo that mostly everyone has, the colors of him is based off the manga. That's why you have like him having a lighter green, and like instead of these things on there being, I don't know what you call like these, like I'm gonna say, no, I wouldn't even call them scales, but these things right there, the reason why you're seeing them be yellow is because that is the colors that that was actually in the manga. That is the original colors provided by Toriyama himself. But in the anime, he had more so of these colors, that's the one I grew up with. And there was actually an alternate version of Piccolo that came out using this exact body mold, and that was a Comic-Con exclusive one. And that was the one that held the colors that we see right here. So obviously, this one is not only better than the old one, it's more accurate to the anime. So this is going to be the defining Piccolo figure for anyone who wants to get a Piccolo figure. And one other thing, before I take this Piccolo and put him off to the side, something I would like to do is I would like to compare the boots. Now, one of the things that I really just noticed, it's something that you can definitely see that is different in this era of Figuarts figures. Right here on the boots, okay, you can see that there is like scratches and everything on there. It's really hard to see. If you look at the scratches here on the boots right over here, like there's actually some lines put up on there on the boots. So that's actually really strange that the 1.0 Piccolo has some extra detail on in an area that you never would have thought would have existed. I really would have liked, now that you see that, I really would have liked now that if they had actually put those paint lines on the actual sculpting of the boots right there. That to me was like, why does the 1.0 have that over a 2.0 after however long it's been since the figure has been released? I really think that they should have added that in there. It's not a big deal by any means. Just like, come on, Tamashi, you pretty much like did this with the older figure. Why can't it be done with the newer one? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And before we get into the other stuff, I'm going to actually just go ahead and try out the cape from Daredevil 19 and put it on this Piccolo and see how this actually fares up. And we're going to see exactly how this goes. Daredevil 19, if you're watching this, shout out to you. You know, your cape is still amazing till this very day. I love that you made this cape. And here we go. I just got to tweak it just a little bit, but overall, I really like it. I think it absolutely works. Now, one of the things that I will have get into, just turning on this light again and putting a little bit more focus on, is that the thing is with this Piccolo is that the turban, because of the fact that they gave a little bit more shading, it makes it so that this this cape now looks a little bit too clean. But that was just because it's not a complaint at all by Daredevil 19's cape, because he made it to match the original 1.0, which they didn't put any shading at all around the turban, so that this thing matched. But if Daredevil 19, if you're watching this, it might be a really cool idea if you actually released your capes just like this, but like having it be a darker color or something, just to match the way that Piccolo has his stuff on there. That would be a really cool touch that you could add in on the capes if you were to go ahead and re-release them like that, because it actually fits on perfectly just how it is. It's just that the colors just has that small little tweakage on there that isn't completely updated with the original mold. But yeah, I'm gonna get the now that the cape is off, I'm just gonna get the stern face right on here, and we'll get the back thing right on there. We're just gonna push that in all the way. Now that we have the stern face on, one of the things that this is what I was talking about initially when it comes to the lips. The lips, why did they give this man like some female kind of lips? I don't understand what is going on here. This is a really weird choice right over here by Tamashi Nations for this thing. And let me actually change up the lights over here. This is, will that work? You know what? That'll work a lot better, I think. Just having the lights be like that. Yeah. Tamashi Nations, you have made a bunch of Piccolo figures. Like a bunch of copies. This thing has been re-released. There is absolutely no detail right here on the lips on the 1.0, but I'm pretty sure everyone in this case would have been fine if this new 2.0 Piccolo did not have any paint on the lips. It's like, it's now that the red is on there, it stands out a hell of a lot, especially because of, you know, his green skin. It looks like the man is wearing lipstick, and I'm like, what the heck were they thinking? You can at least have put on like a different color, like just make it like a black line, and then you just make it better like that. But no, they went straight on with the red one. It's a really, really dumb choice, in my opinion, when it comes to this Piccolo. Like, why on earth would they give this man, like, did they give this man like red lips? I feel like it's just, that's really, really silly to me. In some shots, you're really not gonna see it as well. Who am I kidding? You're gonna see this. Like looking at it with the stern face either way. So I saw JP Toys actually do like a video where he used some alcohol to wipe off the actual lips, but the problem with that was that when you're done using the alcohol, like I saw some smearing on the faces, and I really did not want to go ahead and do that. I want to find a better alternative to actually removing the lips and trying to fix up Tamashi Nation's work. Damn it, Tamashi, why did you have to do my man Piccolo like that? But really, other than that, when it comes to the lips, this figure is absolutely, like, I dare say this is almost perfect for Piccolo. Other than the fact that there's, I guess if we're going to say perfect, people would expect, oh, there should be shading on all this, the clothings and everything. And it's just like, well, there's really not, but you're really not going to be needing it as much. So, now that we're actually here, let's get into the other faces, before we get into the rest. We'll take this face off, and we'll just put on the Screaming face. And I really like how this Screaming face turned out. I really like the teeth that's sculpted in there, and the antennas in there, and everything. And just like that to me is really, really cool. Now, one small thing that I do have that I guess I was expecting to come with this Piccolo, because it came with their original King Piccolo, which honestly I should go get that figure just to have in scale in a second here, but I really expected them to go and give them articulated antennas just like the original King Piccolo had. It's not something that's on this figure, and it's not a deal breaker by any means, but considering the fact that it was on the original King Piccolo, I really, really felt like it was going to be included on this. But again, not a deal breaker at all by any means. It just would have been really nice to have, especially considering the fact that on the original 1.0 Piccolo, the antennas were something that was really fragile. So whether or not the antennas on this one are going to last as long as they do, it's something we're going to have to find out over time. But yeah, let me take off this face, and right here, really good job again on that face. And oddly enough, you guys know how I am when it comes to faces that go ahead and look to the side. But this face right here, this one's absolutely my favorite. Why? Because it gives off that, okay, it's a really cool face. If you ever need like a shock face for Piccolo, you can just use the Screaming face anyway. But like, this face right here gives me that sort of classic exaggerated eye face look that I remember Dragon Ball having, like in the Saiyan saga and everything. And this right here to me just looks really, really, really cool. I love the way that they have like the eye right here get bigger, and then he just looks off to the side. This right here is classic Dragon Ball, and it just like it looks so good. Like I remember Piccolo, I can swear I can remember Piccolo looking exactly like this as he was in the actual show. And here I am. Look what I'm doing. I'm posing this man doing like a special beam cannon now, like with this face. It looks, I love this face so much. It looks so good. I don't care that he's looking off to the side. This is exactly like what I like. It's not going to even hinder posability as well. Whatever poses that you would want to get this thing into, you can just use this face instead for whatever. And this is just, again, it's a really, really cool face. I really love the touch that they did with it. Before I get too invested and lost in this figure, I'm going to take this face off and put the regular stern face on, just to help get myself back into the rest of this review. But for the hands, like you saw me change out the hands a little bit. We obviously got ourselves a special beam cannon thing, and something I didn't really touch up on the hands is that they sculpted the fingernails on each and every single one of the hands. If this camera would please focus, that they sculpted the fingernails on here really well. They're actually pretty sharp, so be a little bit careful when posing that. You also get a pair of style posed hands. And these are honestly some really, really cool hands. I really like how they are. The fingernails are sculpted really wonderfully as well. you know, you can just like they go in at like at a very weird way, kind of like how the open palm blast hands do, which in this case also adds some more posing options to Piccolo. I really like that they included these hands. Way better hand alt options on this Piccolo. It also works for him doing the light grenade, like, you know, as like one of those like Kamehameha type hands that would have been on the original. Whoops, I just hit my camera. And as for the last hands that this Piccolo comes off with, and I don't know why I just took the fist off the other one. You know, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna dump them all right over here. You can see like one of the other accessories that I have not shown off yet. And these accessories here is the open palm blast hands, which again, really well sculpted. Fingernails are done really well on this as well. And the last accessory is this right over here. And basically what the idea is for you on this Piccolo, I'm gonna get the special beam cannon back on here. You can do this on either arm, but it is recommended that you use it on this one. You basically, for this accessory, you gotta take this arm off, and then you take this thing and put it right in there. There we go. And so you basically are in that scene to where, I guess, hey, hold on, let me take this head off right there. You essentially are able to recreate that look for Piccolo. As you know, he had his arm cut off by Raditz, and he's charging the special beam cannon to go and kill both Raditz and Goku. Spoiler alert if you have not watched this series, but you most likely have and already know about this. So even if you didn't watch that part of the series, why the heck are you here watching this review? Alright, but other than that, that's really almost all there is. Other than, there is also these like little cape pieces right over here. Which the reason why the way that you use these, like when you have the cape on, you have the option of inserting this right in here, or like inserting this one. And basically, the idea, if I can just not be dropping this, is that you take these and use the use like a stand. If I can just find a stand right over here. Where was it? Okay, we'll take like one of these, I guess. You're supposed to take this off, and then this right here is supposed to plug into the back and like port itself as like a stand, so you can get Piccolo in one of those like flying meditative type of poses when he's wearing the cape, which is not going to look right now because he is not posing like in like that meditative stance. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time with this thing. Let's get right into the articulation of this Piccolo, and let me just get the arm off real quick. Okay, so for the articulation of this Piccolo figure, the head right here, like as you've seen from me taking it off multiple times, it is on one of those joints where you can move up, like down and up like that. You know, it's got that left and right movement, and you can obviously change it to get that head to side to side. You know how these things work. It also has a little bit of articulation right there at the neck, which like isn't this. I'm talking about this thing right here. It's not really helping too much. So, oh, there we go. Never mind. You can get it to move like have the neck move side to side, which is really cool because I loved having I loved seeing Piccolo sort of do that in his fight with Android 17, where he just like crack his neck, or just when he was badass in general when he was fighting Dr. Gero. Okay, I'm getting too distracted. The arms right here is on a fantastic butterfly joint. Okay, look, I know that this thing looks ugly, like when you have it out right here and you look into this, but you're not gonna have this thing posed from there. Look at how much articulation Piccolo has. He can move his arm so far around. This man is going to be doing some crazy poses. You just don't want to look right there, but honestly, who's going to look right there on the figure? You're just going to have him, you're going to kind of have this guy like pose to the wall. This is I'm going to have Piccolo pose. Yeah, that's exactly what people are going to do. Arms right here, they move all the way around like that. I just twisted his arm. Really nice bicep swivel right there. He's got the double jointed arm right there, which I can probably just finagle to get a little bit more. Never mind. It actually goes in all the way just like that. Can get a little bit more, but really nothing too major at all. Hands are your typical Figuarts joints right over there at the wrists. As for the torso moves in this far forward. I really felt like it did more when I was handling the figure earlier. It goes this far back. Oh, wait a second. I see what's going on. Hold on. Watch this, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of changes. Watch. This thing moves this far forward. And that, yeah, it's going to look ugly right over here, but basically, when using both of the joints, the actual like centerpiece is over here actually moves in forward, so it actually helps assist the articulation right over here at that point. And that's a really cool thing that I really do enjoy about the 2.0 articulation on this Piccolo. You also get that voice rotation right there, and that movement right there in case you would ever need that for posability, which I really do appreciate. The legs move this far forward and this far back, and immediately this Piccolo is even more articulated than Goku and this Goku figure. You want to know why? Look at this man do the full-on split. Whenever Level 19 does his review of this Piccolo, he is going to be very, very happy, especially because of how long he's been asking for Piccolo. This man got his wishes granted. He's got an upper thigh swivel right there, double jointed knees, which, you know, the inside of the knees is like sculpted fairly decently. There's a little bit of like gaping right there, but I mean, not too bad. As for the feet, it's on there with a double ball peg, so you can get the pretty decent ankle movement right there out of it. So nothing too bad at all. Pretty good. And then, you know, it moves up and down. Like, you can actually just readjust it so it can move up a little bit more. I really, really like the double ball peg on here. Way better than on some other Vegeta figures we don't like want to just talk about. And then we got a toe articulation, which is your general toe articulation right there. So for S.H.Figuarts figures, but overall, when it comes to this Piccolo, I am absolutely satisfied with this. Other than the couple of issues which I've talked about, this Piccolo is an amazing figure. That articulation and everything, compacted with all of the other facial expressions other than the stern face, this is a really geniusly impressive figure. I am so happy with this Piccolo. They absolutely killed it with this Piccolo. Damn good job with everything else other than the stern face, Tamashi Nations. My hat goes off to you. Not that I'm wearing any hats. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this figure review. Hopefully you guys did enjoy and I didn't bore you out these past 24 minutes I've been recording. My gosh, time goes by fast. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Till then.